talk about healthcare to vulnerable groups like migrants and women with children, you may want to consider a couple of aspects. Number one is, can you really identify the vulnerable groups? Can you consistently and coherently identify vulnerable groups so you could target any specific efforts towards them? That would be one of the issues I would seriously consider, because all too often you have the issue that government money is spent on those groups who might not be as deserving as others, and at the same time government money does not reach particularly deserving groups. So the first question is of identifying groups whom you want to target for specific healthcare needs. The second point is that making those groups powerful, more powerful, giving them a voice to voice complaints, to voice suggestions, to voice specific needs that have hitherto not been addressed. And I think that is also an extremely important point, because all the good intentions and all the planning and meticulous researching will not give you a full idea of what people in vulnerable groups really need, what they're looking for most, what they need most. The third thing is to keep in mind that vulnerability, like poverty, is a dynamic concept. Some groups will remain vulnerable throughout their lifetimes. Probably most groups have a good chance to get out of the status of vulnerability. And one wants to make sure that money and healthcare resources are directed to those who are most vulnerable in their most vulnerable phases. So you have a time element here. It's not about just indicating who's vulnerable, not making sure those are treated or being cared for, but you want to have an element of time in there, that you capture the dynamism and the dynamic changes in these groups. Finally, the question of sustainability. There's little use, I suppose, in just one-off initiatives where you bring in money, where you build a new health center, a new facility, when after half a year or a year's time there are no medicines available. So what you would like to have is a constant flow of money and other resources to make sure that vulnerable people know something is there, they know they will be taken care of, and you build up an issue of trust and confidence so that these people will come back to you, will let you know what they're lacking, will let you know what things do work well and maybe what things do not work well as well.